Aloha, Sharks Nation. It's Thursday morning again. That's a wonderful thing here in Sharkland, and we are excited. And that can, of course, mean only one thing. That means that we are talking HPU sports here at the HPU Esports Arena, powered by DSE Hawaii, on the beautiful campus of Hawaii Pacific University. As the man said, I'm Jeff Rich, and I'm your host, and today we are talking cross country with HPU's new head coach, Kevin Schwarz. Kevin has brought an amazing athlete with us today. We'll be talking also with Maya Pompel. And we are excited to learn a little bit more about the sport and what things are looking like here as the semester gets rolling. But first, as always, we have our two co-hosts and sidekicks and helpers, I guess. Mr. Paul Breck, keeping us on air and on time, and HPU's Assistant Director of Strategic Communications, Mr. Greg Fishbach. Gentlemen, how is it going? Paul, you first. How was the week? How did the first full week of October treat you?
It was good. I'm very excited to be into October. It's my birth month, so, I'm obviously keeping the celebration going from start to finish, even though it's still another 11 days till I turn the ripe old age of 25. It's been a good month so far. How about you, Jeff?
I only wish I was turning 25. And I'm at the point where I don't celebrate birthdays anymore. I don't think you're still at that point where you can appreciate another year of maturity. So happy birthday preemptively here.
Thank you,
Greg.
Good morning.
Man, it was a crazy busy
week.
I
I was so excited this morning. I ran down Nu'uanu Avenue and I came down 4th Street all the way to Aloha Tower, and here I am getting ready for cross country.
You were running. Did you set
the
record?
I did a 2-minute mile.
2-minute mile.
Is that a record?
Is that a record?
You might make
Coach?
the Olympic team.
No. We were saying earlier, it took forever to get, a sub 4-minute mile? Has anybody ever run a sub 3-minute mile? Is that the record now? You guys would know.
The record is not under 3.
I was right.
So Usain Bolt can't
3.
go a whole mile, right? He just run out of juice.
He needs a little more gas in the tank for that.
I agree.
Wow. Well, it was a crazy busy week. We had a lot going on here as we finished up September and headed into October. It's a bustling campus, as they say. So, the other thing that was kind of cool that happened this week is we had a couple of charity activities going on. We actually had a presidential pieing happen earlier this week to raise funds and perishables for the Student Food Pantry. And just for our listeners, if anybody out there is interested in donating, money is always good. Items are good as well. You can always drop those off at Student Life Office at Aloha Tower Marketplace. So that was fun. I think there's some video on our social media that you can check out. There was also, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge reared its head after a 10-year absence.
That's fun.
I kind of thought we were done with that, but it came back, and I witnessed a bucket getting dumped on HPU's new general counsel, Mr. Kenji Price. So he hopefully is in today and not suffering from pneumonia.
Great guy.
But I told him, everybody was worried about, it's chilling, right? You get that ice bucket dumped on you, but he's a former military, and I was joking. I said, I'm sure Kenji's jumped out of a plane into ice cold water in part of his training, and he confirmed that for us a few times. He's had to do that. So anyway, it was a fun week on campus, but we're happy to be in studio today. So let's get to our guests. So first, let me formally introduce HPU's new head cross country coach, Mr. Kevin Schwarz. A little bit about your experience here first, Kevin. You have over a decade of experience coaching cross country and track and field. You also spent a year as a graduate assistant at HPU during the 2017-18 season, and you have strong ties to the program. You've coached a few All-American athletes over the years, including cross-country All-Americans, outdoor track 5K All-American, and indoor and outdoor track 800-meter All-Americans. You've had some amazing success in your career, including coaching a women's 4x800 team in Cincinnati to a school record. So, let's learn a little bit about you, Kevin. First of all, welcome.
Thank you. Honored to be here.
We're very excited to have you and happy to have you as our new coach. You brought along an amazing athlete as well, and we'll talk with her as well, Maya Pompel. Maya, welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
We are excited to have you, and I think a little bit about your background too. So You were born in Long Beach, California, and your hometown is Placentia, California. So you're a California native, huh?
I am a Southern California native through and through, yeah.
Wow, and now you're in Hawaii.
Yes.
So you've had a great life.
Yeah, can't complain.
Wow. Well, let's see, your major is biological oceanography. It's a great program and a great school here at HPU to be going. Graduate of El Dorado High School in Placentia, and active in high school sports as well, being a member of the cross country and track and field, earning varsity letters your junior and senior years. And you were the captain of the varsity track and field distance team.
I was. Wow, you guys really do your
Yeah,
research.
we do. Well, we got to thank our amazing statistician, Bailey. Bailey's not here this morning, but a big shout out to Bailey for all the great work you do. Well, let's talk about the season, so you guys are getting rolling. Coach, first, tell us a bit about what brought you back to HPU.
I'd been out here for since 2014. Navy is what brought me out here.
Okay.
I was active Navy. My first sea duty tour was on a land-based aircraft in Hawaii. Things could have been a lot worse. So very lucky to get stationed out here. When I was done with my tour,
Which base were you off?
on the Marine Corps base over in Kaneohe.
Oh my God, my favorite. We talk about
Jeff loves
yeah.
Kaneohe.
Oh, you shouldn't have brought that up. Kaneohe, my favorite place. But we have HPU is unique. We've got presences on all 6 of the military bases around campus, including Kaneohe.
Yes, nice place over there. When I finished my service obligations, I knew I wanted to stay here. One of my running nemesis, adversaries, great guy, he was the graduate assistant here at the time.
Okay.
He introduced me to the head coach at the time, and he was outgoing, got me in as his replacement as the graduate assistant that year. So that was my first introduction to the HPU program.
Yeah, that's what got you going. Where are you from originally?
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Are you a Bengals fan?
I'm a Cincinnati fan through and through, but I did go to University of Cincinnati, so being a Bearcat is what's most important to me.
Okay. Yeah, it's a cool city. I've spent some time there myself. Other places you've lived around the country?
Not lived. In the military, deployments certainly have taken me all over.
Yeah.
But Cincinnati is the only place other than here, that I've called home.
Okay. And this is a great place to call home for sure.
This is home for me.
Wow. So did you know what you wanted to do, that you wanted to, be a cross-country coach, and this was always a passion of yours as you were, maturing as a student and as an athlete yourself?
Coming out of college, going through college, my coach meant the world to me. He was the greatest mentor I've had. Being with him, seeing what he did, the impact that he had on other people, that's what motivated me to follow his footsteps.
Okay.
He, as soon as I graduated, I spent 6.5 years on the Cincinnati staff, helping under his wing before he retired, and that's right when I joined the Navy. And that was my introduction to coaching.
Interesting. Wow. Tell us any really interesting experiences through your Navy career?
Oh, absolutely.
Tell us something that stands out. Yeah, I can imagine, but
Family friendly.
yeah, the family stories, please. Exactly.
Yes.
Did you ever go to? Was it what do they do in New York? They do
Fleet Week there.
Fleet Week, yes, and then also Annapolis does it, I think, too, in Baltimore, or they have a big.
There's Fleet Weeks all
okay.
over the country. My significant events, I would say, in different parts of the world, we took. We had to go up to Iceland someday to chase Russian submarines around. I was in Sicily, Italy, and Crete, Greece when big migrant crisis was happening, and we sent planes up all the time to go and locate the boats coming across so they could be rescued before something bad happened. Lots of things that I was part of that I hope kept the world safe and in a better shape.
Well, we thank you for your service and commitment to to that cause here. It just is a remarkable experience that it sounds like you had, and you've come back home to HPU, and now you are instilling a culture of excellence and accomplishment within the cross-country program. And Maya, you're a big part of that. So tell us a little bit about your life's journey.
Yeah, I actually wasn't a big athletic kid. I didn't start running until like first year of high school, which is different, right? Like you hear a lot of these soccer kids have been playing since they were 5, even like volleyball, softball. But yeah, I didn't do a lot of sports growing up. But I mean, I loved it in high school. I think if you told me that I'd be running in college when I was 15, I would have laughed in your face. But yeah, I found a great opportunity here at HPU. And I was recruited by one of the old coaches. So I've been doing this this is my 3rd season that I'm going into. And it's been great. Yeah, I love it.
Did you always love running when you were young, or did you just kind of fall into this sport?
I originally started, I'm going to be honest with you, because I wanted to be a part of a team. But then it's hard. I just didn't know what I wanted to do, so I was like, we'll start with cross country, probably a difficult sport to start with. But I really liked it. I meet a lot of my friends through cross country. It's a smaller community, but it's very tight-knit because it's so small. So yeah, I would say a lot of the friends that I've had for years and know that I'm going to have for years are from cross country, and I knew that I wanted to have that in college too. So when I got the opportunity to do it here, I was like, of course.
Yeah.
Maya, how important is team support in cross country?
In terms of like from other teammates?
Oh, just yeah, your teammates, at HPU.
I think it's really important to us. I think that our team has had some difficulties in the past. I mean, obviously all teams do, right? That's just how life is. But I think, we have some disagreements and scuffles that, you think you're not going to make it through, but then you do because, you realize that you love each other and you've been suffering for however many months a season is. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not easy to break.
Right.
So I think that it is very important to us.
Kind of like a family, right?
Yeah, it is like a family, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. We got to take a quick commercial break, and then I want to come back and talk a bit more about the team dynamic in cross country. But first, a big shout out to one of our amazing sponsors, Giovanni Pastrami. Giovanni Pastrami is Waikiki's premier sports bar. Thank you for your support. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. You're listening to Sharks Weekly.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
And we are back live at the wonderful campus of Hawaii Pacific University at the eSports Arena powered by DSE Hawaii. And also, just a reminder that today's episode of Sharks Weekly is also brought to you by Hawaii Pacific University's Holomua Commitment. HPU puts a private college education in reach by guaranteeing admission and at least a $15,000 scholarship for local high school students with a 2.75 GPA or higher. Guaranteed admission, guaranteed scholarship. Visit hpu.edu/affordable for details. All right, so we are back talking cross country. So during the break, we were talking a little bit about some of the dynamics involved in the sport, and I know part of your coaching philosophy, Kevin, is emphasizing team as opposed to just individual performance and really trying to create that team dynamic. Talk to us a little bit about how you create that sense of team in a sport that often has individual performance sort of highlighted. And then I want to talk a bit about team building and team chemistry. So maybe tell us more about your philosophy of creating that chemistry.
Certainly. Anytime you physically exhaust yourself with a group of people day in, day out, time and time again, you tend to become very close. And that's no different than what we do every day. With cross country, running together, you've certainly run together with friends. Much easier to run with a friend or with a partner than it is by yourself.
I actually never have. We were talking about this earlier, actually. I was saying to Greg, we were chatting about the sport, and I played college football, and I could not run a mile without stopping when I was a college football player. I swear to God, I could not do it. And something happened in my early 30s where I started to run, and I became an avid runner and would go 6 days a week, about 5-6 miles a run until my knee wore out. But I learned it was a mental sport. But the thing that I noticed is I never once ran with another person. It was a solitary sport for me.
Well, I think you missed out on some greater opportunities.
I think
you're probably easier if you run with other people, I would imagine.
I think it probably is.
Yeah. It's much easier, much more motivating when you have someone in like mind running
pushing
next to you,
right?
like goals.
You know what it was
you
for
can
me
accomplish
is
a lot more.
I ran such a slow pace. I think I probably would run like an 8-minute mile. So
No,
I don't
that's
think I
not
could
bad.
keep
That's
up
pretty
with
good.
anybody else. That's probably why I didn't want to run with the pack.
Hey, it's just one foot in front of the other, you know.
Well, back to the, so creating, though, that sense of team chemistry is important for, any sport that has team mentality, even if there are individual performances, sort of at the heart of it. So what are some of the other ways that you create chemistry and bonding, as a coach?
Certainly, everyone knows that the team score, you need 5. And even more so, you need everybody. 5 score on the cross-country course. Everybody relying on one another, because we are not all 100% every day. We need to pick each other up when time calls for it. Creating that culture, running together, the workouts we do. It's just, golly, help me here, Maya.
Tell us your perspective as an athlete, Maya.
I think that
When you're doing workouts, as I mentioned before, when you have someone who's with the same mindset, with the same goals, and doing that physical activity to accomplish it, it's motivating. It's something inside you. It's not tough. It's not easy. It's very tough. It takes a little something else inside of you to know that something is going to hurt. It's not a short period of time. It's not running a basketball play or a football play, but you are doing a rep for many minutes at a time. You're running a race for half hour at a time. It does something a little different.
When we're talking training for cross country, how is it different for track athletes versus cross country athletes?
Cross country and track are very different sports.
I would say that cross country is a completely different strategy because the end goal is different, right? Track has a bunch of different events, like it's track and field. So a bunch of cross country athletes will do track, like long distance track, 800 meter, mile, 2 mile, right? But then cross country, you're not running on a flat track 8 laps around. Do you know what I mean? You don't have people cheering for you at every step of the way. You're running, for the girls, it's 5 and 6K, so about 3 to 4 miles. For the guys, it's 8 to 10K, which is significantly longer. You know, you're running for 20 to 30 minutes. It's definitely not that track is not tough, but in my experience, I would say that cross country is more mentally tough in terms of mental endurance and having the strength to push yourself through, especially if you're like not running with someone. Or even if you are running with someone, thinking like, okay, how long am I going to be able to keep up with this person? Can I pass them? Like, I should pass them, right? You're in a race. Like, You're trying to get as many points for your team as you can. Not that you also do that in track, but yeah, cross country is just a different distance. You want to, you have to strategize the whole race knowing, okay, everyone's going to go out fast, for example. But my first mile needs to be somewhat consistent because I know I'm going to die out by the end. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say it's definitely a little bit mentally tougher.
Maya, do you often run with a teammate, or are you going at it individually, or do you have a strategy often where you might run together to keep the pace? Mm-hmm. How do you think about leveraging teammates during an actual race, if at all?
Yeah, I would say the best strategy, if we were in a perfect world, would be to run with the teammate. But obviously not everyone's the same pace, but that could be good, right? Because some are faster than others. So when you're in a race, that team strategy is either if you're close to someone, run with them, especially if there's someone just a few steps ahead of you, get with that person. It's going to be easier. You just have to be mentally tough enough to get up there, and then, try and hold on as long as you can. But then also if you're not running with a teammate, that's okay, because most of the time you can see a teammate up ahead of you and you're trying to pull yourself to them. So even though you might not be able to catch up to them, you're still in your mind trying to be I'm trying to get up to them, trying to stay the same distance apart. So you're going like the same, not the same pace, but like the same difference in pace,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
And do you think is that part of the strategy going into the race, where if you have a teammate, for example, that comes out fast and you say, okay, we're going to have them set the pace and we're going to run together, knowing that they might run a faster pace than I do because it's going to improve my time if I can hang with them, and then I've got the closing speed perhaps. So is that actually talked about, where you decide I'm going to run with you through the early part of this race?
Oh, definitely. I would say that even though cross country definitely is a team sport, that's almost where it becomes a little bit individualistic, because while one person may be able to go out super fast, maybe someone else is going to do that and then they're going to lose their stamina and then it's just going to hold them back.
Okay.
So that's almost like you have to be able to know what you are capable of doing. Like, for example, some people go out super fast and their first mile is like way faster than their like other miles, but then like it averages out, so their pace is lower, whereas some people are like, I can't go out that fast, I need to just keep it consistent because I know that I'm going to lose energy, and then it's just going to pull them back even more, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's where it becomes like you almost need to know what you yourself can do. But yeah, I would definitely say when we're racing, we try, if we can, to run at least in the same vicinity. And when you're practicing together, that's also why we try to run together. Even though everyone's different paces, at least like you know in your mind where everyone's going to be, like in what order people are going to be.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, like I should be close to this person, or like I know that whoever is behind me, I got to stay where I am. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Is it, if I would assume the answer to this would be it's good to have both, but if you have to be the type of athlete that is either able to come out strong or somebody who's got good closing speed, but maybe not both, which generally sees more success in the sport?
Well, I can answer that.
Okay.
The best strategy is to have as fast as you can, as evenly paced as you can throughout the entire race.
Okay. So you want to have the same average per mile through the entire 3-4 miles of a 5K, for example.
That is what will yield the best results.
Okay. And so, and when you're thinking about it as a coach, Kevin, are you looking for opportunities to pair maybe runners up and say, okay, I know I've got a fast starter here, maybe she doesn't come out as fast, so you're going to coach her to try and stay at pace, knowing that she is a closer and she's going to finish strong? Is that part of your strategy?
My strategy, we have different types of runners on the team. We have people who are doing this many miles a week. We have ones who are doing half that as much. It's my job as a coach to get everybody to be at their best when time counts.
Yep.
on race day. So that's my job. That's my balance. As Maya said, you'd much rather have a teammate on your shoulder than a competitor. It's more motivating, and it just makes you feel better knowing that your teammates are right there.
So when we're talking about, we have the marathon coming up in December.
Mm-hmm.
What do you consider that? Do you consider that cross country? I mean, it's not technically cross country. Do athletes at HBU run the marathon? How do you train for that? People are running that, very popular in Hawaii.
It is popular event. I'll say that's not anything that we talk about or train for during the season. It's not a focus. When our last race is finished, then we'll talk about the marathon. But very different thing, very different sport, very different training program to be successful in that. But
so they are different. They are quite different.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, wow, interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow. All right, hey, we are going to take another quick commercial break and another quick shout-out to one of our sponsors, Outrigger Resorts and Hotels. Hawaii-based Outrigger Resorts and Hotels is proud to support the collegiate athletes of Hawaii Pacific University, and we are very thankful for having you as one of our sponsors. So let's take another commercial break. You're listening to Sharks Weekly. We're talking cross-country, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
And we're back talking cross country. We were talking about the strategy of the sport and figuring out how to get the best performance out of your athletes. And I imagine the camaraderie has a lot to play into how the team dynamic comes together as well. So Maya, when you think about how you guys create that chemistry, tell us a little bit about, are you guys friends, off off the course, I guess we'll say the if I'm referring to that correctly in cross country, I guess. But do you guys do a lot of team building on your own?
Yeah, I would agree with what Kevin said before about when you struggle with people every day for multiple months. It does make you closer. And a lot of us also happen to be the same major, like oceanography, marine bio. There's a lot of STEM. So a lot of us are also in the same classes, so that helps.
And you live together. A lot of you live together.
Yeah, a lot of teammates are also roommates. So I think just in terms of just running every day, I think that helps develop friendships for sure. We do team bondings as well. It's a little bit difficult because everyone is so busy. Everyone works a part-time job and is also a full-time student. So I would say that most of the bonding happens, honestly, on travel trips, I would say.
Okay.
Or even just on race days, because you spend so long with each other, especially travel days. We don't travel as long as other sports. We go Thursday to Sunday, and I know other sports go sometimes they go a week or two.
Yeah, long trips in some cases. Back to the mainland. What about? Do you have any team-based service projects or any organized team building things that you guys as athletes have done to create that chemistry?
Yeah, but before in recent years we've gone and helped out with the Special Olympics. The year that I did it, it was at Kaiser High School in Hawaii Kai.
Okay.
That was a really cool experience. Very fulfilling, I would say, and a great way to spend a Saturday morning. I will say we don't do a lot of them during season just because we are so busy. So that's kind of where in the off season we take advantage of the volunteer work and the service opportunities and stuff like that.
At the end of this past spring, we went over to the Marine base to clear out all the brush, all the invasive species on some of their running paths over there. That was one thing we did.
Yeah, I remember that.
What did you think of that base? Wasn't that just beautiful up there?
Yeah, we used to also run sometimes on the track up there because a lot of teammates would have access. You're right, because HPU has a lot of
we have a campus,
presence.
On Kaneohe base. Yeah.
So a lot of teammates were able to get us access to use that track a few times. So that was cool. We've also done we've helped out with Halloween trunk or treats in the past.
Okay.
We'll dress up and last time we handed out hot dogs to kids. This was multiple years ago. It was really fun. That was probably my favorite thing that we've ever done.
Wow.
But yeah, we do service learning. It's usually just not during season. So I'm excited to see what we do this year,
It's
Kevin.
a great way to get into the community, get out into the community.
Yeah, for sure. And it definitely helps the team bond.
Yeah.
And at least make them feel like they're doing some good in the community. Yeah, that does a lot.
Yeah. Do you have something special planned yet this year, Kevin, or are you still noodling on the team building activities?
Golly, this in my rookie year here, I've been quite busy. I spend most of the time worrying, golly, what did I forget? Did I do everything I'm supposed to do? Looking forward to the spring season to really nail down some good community service activities and team building activities with everyone.
Very cool. Well, I know that's a big part of all of our athletic teams. Approach to chemistry building and just creating the camaraderie that creates success and a culture of excellence. And Greg, I know you are quite active out and about across the HPU campus.
I try.
You try, and you do
try.
a great job keeping your finger on the pulse of everything HPU athletics, along with Bailey. Did you get a chance to get out and about and see what was happening this past week across campus?
Like a look back?
A look back, even, yes.
Well, October 5th, women's volleyball at Academy of Art, HBU just barely, HBU was 2 to Academy of Arts was 3. It was a 5-set thriller. The Sharks rallied after dropping the first 2 sets, but came up just short in the 5th, losing 12 to 15. On October 5th, cross country at UH Hilo, the men's team victory, HPU took first place, dominating the competition and scoring 21 points. And on Sunday, October 6th, men's soccer versus Academy of Art, HPU 1, Academy of Art 0. Game-winning goal was Quinlan Van Arkel, scored the lone goal in the 44th minute, assisted by Montreal Matter, I hope I'm saying that's correctly, Defensive effort. Goalkeeper Ethan Dickey recorded 5 saves to secure the shutout and keep the Urban Knights off of the scoreboard. And October 6th, HPU Women's Soccer versus Academy of Art. The final score 2-0. HPU won that. Key highlights. Kaylee Uema opened the scoring just 42 seconds into the match, the fastest goal of the season for the Sharks. And Mahena Ortiz added a second goal in the 35th minute, assisted by Justice Valdez. So
Wow.
great stuff.
And a great week in HPU sports, really kicking the fall semester into gear. Anything fun coming up this coming week that's on your radar?
Well, October 10th, we got women's volleyball versus Biola, 7 o'clock at the Shark Tank. October 12th, men's golf at HBU Chaminade and UH Hilo. It's called a triangular. That's in Kona. HBU Cross Country Invitational, 7 a.m. at Hawaii Country Golf Course. Men's soccer versus Menlo College. That's at Waipio Stadium, 4:30 p.m. Women's volleyball versus Westmount College. That's at the Shark Tank, 6 p.m. Women's soccer versus Menlo College, 7 p.m. at Waipio Stadium. October 13th, men's golf, and that's the HBU Chaminade UH Hilo Triangular in Kona. And women's golf at Hawaii Tri Match, that's in Hilo. And October 14th, we have women's golf continues at Hawaii Tri Match in Hilo, and women's volleyball at UH Hilo, 7 p.m.
Wow.
A lot going on.
A lot. And, bringing it back to cross country, I think you recently took first place at the UH Hilo Invitational, I think scoring 21 points to secure the team title. And I think in talking with you after that, I think you called out that pack strength was a big key to victory, and running as a pack, just back into our conversation about pack running. Why pack running versus running up by pacing, kind of the same thing, or is that just trying to keep the team together when you think about pack running as a group?
We talked a little bit before about having your teammates on your shoulder and how that psychologically is better for you. Having a pack of guys, if you're the competition and you see 4 of your competition right in front of you and think, oh golly, how are we going to catch up to that?
Yep.
It's a
motivator.
Yeah, it's a motive.
I could see that being a little intimidating. You can't do anything like block runners, can you?
No.
It's like how the bicyclists do it sometimes, I know, and they running the block. But interesting. So, there is so much strategy involved in it. The women's team, you guys had an impressive third-place finish at the Invitational. Steady progress for that team. You had a big freshman impact. I think you called out Carly Dyer, led the team, placing 6th. So you've got some good young talent coming up.
I will say this. At the beginning of the year, we were quite far back from the 2 other Hawaii schools. The past 2 races, we've slowly climbed up.
Yeah, for sure.
Looking
Nice.
for
Very impressive.
Looking for a big finish in the next 2 weeks.
Well, I think you got the team pointed in a great direction, and just continuing to build that culture of excellence here at HB with all of our sports programs under the ultimate leadership of our amazing athletic director, Dr. Debbie Snell. Big shout out to her. Paul, and I don't want to solely talk about HBU sports. Is there anything fun happening from your point of view more broadly with sports around the island that you were able to catch over the last week?
No, not particularly. It's still early in the week right now. Obviously, we had last weekend. There always are weekend sports, but looking forward to HPU continuing to heat up this year as it goes on. I was actually a little bit curious for you guys. You were talking before, or Greg was talking before, about events coming up, and I was curious about when it comes to team bonding. Do you guys spend any time going to other teams events, other programs to go see, let's say, a women's volleyball match, and you might say, oh, let's go here tonight? Is that somehow that you guys end up bonding over time? Is there a certain sport you guys like to go to and support? Am I just kind of spitballing right now?
No, we definitely do that. We do that a lot more not during the season, but we've gone to acro and tumbling. That's always amazing. Could never do that. Mm-hmm. They'd probably throw me up in the air and I would never come down. We have been to volleyball games, and basketball games. I'm trying to think of what else. I think that's mostly it, because it's easier for everyone to get to Shark Tank. So we'll go for like home games, than like have to like have everyone drive people on the island. We don't have a lot of people on the team with cars.
Okay.
So that is an issue of shuttling people. But yeah, so we definitely do go to games.
Have you seen that bring any of your like peers to some of your events? Have you guys seen that reciprocated back, or do we need to start getting on these other programs to come out and support cross country a little bit more?
No, I think you could definitely get on those other programs.
I
It is
will.
hard though, because a lot of our races are either not on island, or if they are on island, they're pretty far. Like our first race was all the way in Kahuku, although we did have a lot of supporters just in terms of like friends on the team and alumni too. A lot of those old runners came as well. And then, yeah, I think our race this weekend is all the way in Kunia.
Yeah, Kunia at the Hawaii Country Club this weekend. But to your point, there's 250 some odd athletes here at HPU, and we want to make sure we support all of our fellow athletes in everything they do. That's the culture we want to build.
Absolutely. That is our goal. Excellence across the board. I think we're going to take our last break here in a moment, and then continuing our shining a light on other HPU sports. I believe, Greg, you were out in the field and did an interview with volleyball coach Janek Tumeneng. So we're going to go to our last break here, and then when we come back, we'll hear that conversation, and then we'll close things out here with a little last-minute conversation in studio. So you're listening to Sharks Weekly. Stick with us, and you're going to learn a little bit about volleyball on the return from the break.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
And we are back, and I think I told you before the break we were going to hear a little bit from volleyball, but I'm told we're a little short on time to run that segment, so we're going to hold that for next week, so you'll learn about what's happening with HPU volleyball on a great in-the-field interview that Greg did, getting Coach Janek in the Shark Bowl. But I think we want to talk a little bit more here before we wrap things up this morning about quizzes and trivia quizzes that I hear are a big part of your teaching and team building philosophy. Kevin, tell us a little bit about this concept.
Yes, that's right. That's something I can do a little bit on my part. Before each race, I give each team member their weekly quiz. And the weekly quiz has a few parts. Some of the common themes are Hawaiian words, know your teammates, vocabulary, that's a big one.
Vocabulary.
Yes.
Oh.
Random trivia, and then we hit some science and mathematical questions in there too sometimes.
Well, do you have any questions you can ask us?
Oh.
I know Jeff is very good at trivia.
One question I really liked, given the Olympics, the question was, if you're Sydney McLaughlin, the 400-meter world record holder, from a scientific and physics standpoint, from a mathematical and physics standpoint, as you're going around the track, which should be your lead leg and why?
Jeff?
Going over those hurdles.
Well, isn't it usually if you're right or left-handed?
Well, that has to do with you, not okay. Science and not mathematical and physics.
I would say science would say lead with your right leg.
And why is that?
Well, in my case, I'm right-handed. I know, it seems to me, maybe because I am a right-handed, that it just seems more natural to glide over the hurdles with a right leg.
I was thinking left.
Left.
I was thinking left.
And why is that?
I was thinking, exactly what you said, but the left side.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, but doesn't it? Doesn't
the momentum
we
would
think
carry
that does
you?
come back to? Well, you've
What's
already
the
told
answer?
us it's not based on you; it's based on science. So
It
what does
is
science
physics.
tell us?
Well, anytime you leave the ground and you're going around a turn, you're going to continue that straight path from the moment you leave the ground.
Right.
Okay, and we're going around the track counterclockwise.
Oh.
So you
it's
want to
left.
lead. You want to lead with your left leg.
Yes.
There you go.
So that's
See?
when you
should
hit
have
the
had
ground,
that.
you're
I had
closer
it.
to that line, which will get you around the track.
That's what I was thinking exactly.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But I couldn't put it into
Yes.
words, Coach.
Okay.
But you were thinking it.
I had it in my head.
Yes.
All right. What's another one? Another trivia question. Could be science or not, but hit us with another one.
Know your teammates is one of my favorite it shows. So this past week, the question was, what is the hometown of all of your teammates?
That's a good one.
The week before it was, what is the major of all your
Another good
teammates? So it gets them talking when we're out in the vans, when we're out traveling. It gives them things to conversate
Right.
over.
Do people talk when they run? Is that something people do? Or is it,
That's
or is
part of
it-
the reason that we run in a pack. Also,
So
if
there
it's
is-
an easy
there
day,
is
then we're
chit-chat.
talking and bonding.
That's
It's
great.
also an important part.
yeah, that's great.
Well, but hey, we got so hometown. So Placentia, Cincinnati,
Honolulu.
Kailua, Honolulu. All right, Buffalo in my
Buffalo.
case. Yeah.
Sorry.
We'll be quizzed on that later, by the
As
way.
they say, a good place to be from.
No, Buffalo's great.
Oh, it's a great
it's
city.
great.
Yeah, Bills are on some hard times at
Yeah.
the moment, but
Yeah.
but all right. So another one, another tribute.
Okay,
We're
here
gonna
we
keep.
go.
Let's see,
Keep
this past
rapid
week.
fire
Putting him
trivia
on the
here.
spot. He has no notes in front of him.
No
so
notes.
This
This
is
is
really
all
impressive.
top of head,
Yeah.
Kevin.
I like vocabulary section. That's my favorite part
Okay.
to give everybody. This past week, the questions were very. So we say we're very hungry, but I want the formal word. So what's the formal word for very hungry? You're
And then you would write down
starving.
starving.
Or if someone
famished.
is very slow moving, you'd say, oh, they're lethargic. So
But you
try-
could choose multiple words, right?
some
So-
get more points than others.
Okay, the more obscure the word,
Yes.
like lethargic, right? A good one. Okay. So all right. So give us a question and let's come up with a vocabulary synonym.
Okay. Very fragile.
Jeff?
Very fragile. Very. Geez, you're putting me on the spot. Delicate.
Delicate. Okay.
Very fragile. I like delicate.
I think that's what I put.
Is it all right?
Wait, I'll,
You got
I'll
one
think of
point.
one.
Hey, sometimes we have arguments about, well, this word is already formal. How are we supposed to make it more formal? Or, well, the word you put isn't formal at all. Like, what was the one I was arguing to you
One
about
of
the
them,
other day?
very ugly, was the popular one. You could be grotesque or
Morbid?
homely. Homely was the word I was
Homely.
looking for.
Less than attractive.
What
Some
about
people put aesthetically challenged.
Oh, I like that. Do you do the opposite where you give a long word and then, okay, give me just a plain English word? So I'm feeling melancholy this morning. What would you say in plain English?
Oh.
She'd probably say, I'm too
God.
tired for this.
This is early in the morning.
Yes.
I
We're
know it's not,
dumbing it
it's not
down?
good
Yeah.
to be melancholy
You're
so
sad.
early in the morning.
I'm sad.
I
depressed?
like that word because it sounds like a happy word. It's like I'm feeling melancholy. It's great. Sad, lethargic. Yeah, I would. Well, in layman's terms, what would you would say? What? I'm not feeling that great. I guess
Right.
in very simple terms.
Yep.
But
Right.
that's an example of a word that I think a lot of people misperceive. Right? I'm sure there's a lot of words like that. All right, give us one more.
One of the other section, we always do Hawaii words. So you English words, ask for the Hawaiian words. Hawaiian words, ask for the English words.
This last one had Ikomo Mai, so welcome. I will say the one nobody got was Happy Birthday in Hawaiian.
I don't think I've ever. Is there a happy birthday song in Hawaiian? Does anybody know?
I'm not sure.
There's got to be, or yeah. We don't know.
Like saying.
A saying. All right. So anybody know the? No. All right. Well, that's one we're going to have to find out and answer next
week.
Exactly.
We'll have the answer next week.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, Kevin, what is it?
Oh, you
yeah.
put me on the
Put you on the
I
spot,
can't
Kevin.
spell. Next, we're going to go on to the next question.
Yeah, you don't know it either, do you?
I didn't give myself a point.
Have you guys ever gone and done like a trivia night, as a team building thing out in, restaurants, or we'll do them occasionally, and
I think we would do a good
that
job.
would be fun.
Those are fun.
I
those
think
are
we have
fun.
a good mix of science and sports, but also art. Actually, that might be a lie. Maybe we don't have a lot of art.
Either way, they get into it. It's a good group, great bunch. I stepped in. I'm so lucky with the group I stepped into here. Fantastic group. They're fun. They get into everything we do.
So, favorite beach? We haven't done that yet.
Oh, we
Jeff.
always have to definitely
have
do
to
that. All right,
always,
Maya, you're up.
favorite beach.
Favorite beach.
Ooh, I really like Waimanalo. I also like Makua on West Side. I would
Yeah,
say
both
those
are beautiful.
Those
Or
are
Cockroach
awesome.
Cove is also a favorite.
Where's
Cockroach
that? I haven't
Cove.
heard of
Yeah,
that.
where is that?
It's right by the Halona
Blowhole.
on
Oh,
East
okay.
Side. Like you park it to get there, you have to park at one of the lookouts, and then you walk down like this little rock sand trail.
Nice.
It's pretty small, and there's no service, but there's a I don't know what it's a cave.
Very cool.
That like you can walk into.
Have you
It's
been?
pretty cool.
Have you been out to Waimea and
I have, yeah.
to rock?
I have not.
I
I'm
was out there
scared that if I
Friday.
tell my mommy that I jumped off a rock, she would yell at me.
Did you jump off the rock?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
So I was out there last Friday. I took a day off and enjoyed.
Did you jump off the
beach.
rock?
I did not, but I will say that it was fun. I was out in the water, and this poor guy. He looked. I would have sworn he was. What was that singer's name? Jelly Bean, Jelly Roll. I'm sorry. Jelly Bean. This poor guy is up on the rock, spitting image of Jelly Roll, and he stood there for the first 10 minutes, just trying to muster the courage to jump.
Yeah.
And of course, the longer he stood there, the more people crowded
gonna do it?
around. And after
Poor
about
guy.
25 minutes of standing there,
He didn't
and
do it.
he all of a sudden down in the water. There's probably about 15 of us, like looking up at him, trying to cheer him on, say, "You can do it, you can do it." There's probably about 30 people on the beach. Everybody just staring at this poor guy. And then he finally did it at about the 30-minute mark.
He did it.
Jumped, and you got roaring applause. It was it was pretty cool to see somebody muster that kind of courage.
Wow.
I couldn't do it. I wouldn't jump off that rock. Of course, I'm at
It's
the
scary.
point where it's risk reward at this point in life. So
Yeah, I know. What about favorite beach, Kevin?
Kahala.
Oh,
I
beautiful.
like
Kahala.
Kahala. I
Yes.
might have a little spot I like to do overnights there.
Oh, that's
yes.
beautiful.
Last and one more question: favorite food, Hawaiian food? What have you come to
Ooh.
like, Maya?
I like a good plate lunch with a mac salad. I'm a chicken katsu girl. I also really love the Kahlua pork with the cabbage,
Oh,
with the rice on the side.
Kailua pork. All right, I see we're out of time, so we had a good conversation today. I want to thank our in-studio guests with cross country, Coach Kevin Schwarz and Maya Pompel. We appreciate you guys being
Thank
with
you.
us today.
Thank you for having us.
Best of luck. You're very welcome, and we'll see you back in studio again soon, I hope.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
All right.
aloha.
Everybody have a great week.